So talk to me about Carlos Teo Cruz. You wrote a
he
story
was the
on
first
him.
champ.
He's the first Dominican world champion. Talk to me about who he was and how good was he.
Well, he's great. He beat Carlos Ortiz and he beat Mando Ramos, and then he lost to Mando Ramos in the rematch with us because of a cut. So, he fought kind of like Triple G, but not with the knockout punch, though, right? That was his style, nice and tight, and all aggressive. Well, he was the first one to actually officially become the first champ.
I know he beat Carlos Ortiz, one of the greatast Puerto Rican fighters of all time,
so
for the lightweight title.
The Dominican Republic had a very bad political climate from say World War II to the 1960s. That's when Trujillo was in charge. This guy he changed the name of Santo Domingo to Trujillo City. Remember, he used to say God on earth, Trujillo on earth.
Yeah.
God on heaven, Trujillo on earth.
Yeah.
So it was very hard for political sports to prosper with that political environment. So that's why in the 30s and 40s, you had a couple Dominicans who were in the top 10, some really, really good fighters like Carlos El Zurdo Perez, Antonio Medrano. Antonio Medrano, from what I read, he sounds like he fought like Pernell Whitaker.
Really?
Southpaw slick like that in a crouch. So then it went dead kind of until Carlos Teo Cruz came back. And even Carlos Teo Cruz had to go to Puerto Rico for most of his career.
No, I know that.
So,
I want people to know just know more or less who Carlos Cruz is. Could you break that down?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Died, unfortunately, in the prime, right, in that airplane accident. Junior lightweight champion. Was one of those kind of guys where he went to Puerto Rico and he was like, he wasn't home, so he was kind of the opponent fighting on short notice, but eventually learned his trade to the point where when he died, one of the Puerto Rican newspapers says, today 2 countries are in mourning, right? Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Because he married a Puerto Rican lady. He stayed in Puerto Rico, right, his whole life. An outstanding lightweight, late 60s champ, lost to Mando Ramos on a cut. He might have regained it. Would have gave everyone a good fight back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do you know anything about his brother Leo Cruz?
Leo Cruz, first 2 Latino brothers to become champions. Leo
really?
Cruz.
So the first 2 Latino brothers to become champion of Dominican?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how good he was? He actually holds the record for most title defenses by a Dominican, too.
Who?
Leo Cruz.
How many did he have?
I believe he had
like
4.
4.
I believe
like
he had 4, yeah.
Yeah, really good fighter, junior welterweight. And very sad story because he's like 8-10 years younger than Carlos Cruz. And he took Teo Cruz to the airport when Teo Cruz had come to the Dominican Republic and then he was flying back to Puerto Rico, right? And when he was driving home with the parents, it came out on the radio, the plane crashed.
Wow.
And they made a U-turn, headed back to the airport, but they couldn't see nothing anymore. And that same year, he won the gold medal in the Pan Am Games, right? He almost didn't go.
Wow.
Because it was, the tragedy in the family.
I totally understand.
A couple of years later, became champ. I believe it's junior featherweight champ.
I believe so, too.
Yeah.
I believe so, too.
Leonardo.
Yeah.
Leo Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.